Hello, Robert, and welcome on behalf of the Newcastle Family Conference. Good to have you.
Thanks, Matt. Nice to be here. And hi to everyone at the conference. Good to see you all.
I'm sure they're all waving. Thanks so much for agreeing to take some time to talk. And in the context of our session this afternoon, the reason I particularly wanted to talk to you is because you've used the ability God's given you to write a series of spiritual books for the benefit of the community, and they're called Thinky Things. So just in case anyone hasn't heard of these books, what are Thinky Things?
Well, Thinky Things is a series of books. That's the first one. The blue one. We've got a yellow one. We've got Thinky Things on Proverbs, and now a Thinky Days diary. So, yeah, there's sort of quite a family of Thinky Things books at the moment. But basically, what they are is a daily Bible meditation based on the daily readings. So you get the daily readings listed here. There you go. Daily readings listed there, the day of the week or day of the year. And then a thought on the reading that's in bold, which is 1 Samuel chapter 6 in that particular case. So, it's just a very basic thought that, well, I hope points people to God, really. Points people to living a life that really magnifies him in every area of their lives. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So that's what Thinky Things are. Yeah.
Great. And where did the idea for Thinky Things come from? Where did you get the idea to do this?
Well, it wasn't really an idea. It wasn't like I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write Thinky Things and everyone will love this. It's sort of like I was struggling because what I had this habit that I've always done since I've been, old enough, which is to read my Bible first thing in the morning. So the first thing I do in the morning after a shower or whatever is do my Bible reading, and I might read a chapter or whatever, and I've done the Bible reading. What I was doing was doing my Bible reading in the morning, and then close the Bible, and then come back to it the next day and go, now, what did I read yesterday? What did I read yesterday? And I go, oh, yeah, okay, well, I think it was about there. Then I get about 3/4 of the way through it, and I go, no, I read that one yesterday. And I might do that for 3 or 4 days in a row. And obviously, nothing's sinking in at all. So what I did was I got myself this is the original one, a page for a day diary. And I just put at the top of the page the reading that I've done that day, and the and a bit of a thought about what I've read. It might be about the whole chapter, or it might be about a verse, or just an idea that pops out at me, or whatever. But it gave me something so that I could go, I'm going to either come back to this later or write about it now, but I've got to think about what I've read. And so that's where it came from. The books themselves were an accident. What I'd done was as I started writing them, my brother went overseas for a while. He went to Indonesia and spent some time in Indonesia. And I thought, oh, well, he's there. I'll send him some encouragement. So I typed out 1 or 2 of these Thinky Things and sent them over to him. And he goes, oh, thanks for the little Thinky Things. So that's where the name came from. It was actually him that just went, little Thinky Things. Okay, fine. So that's what they were originally called. In fact, the first book we had published, sort of photocopied book we had, was titled Little Thinky Things. But we dropped that for the rest of them. And anyway, I started sharing them sort of regularly with a few people, and gradually the email list just grew and grew and grew until people were saying, when are you going to put the book together? And I suppose I could. And so that's where the books came from. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and I guess the scenario you described initially is probably all too relatable for most of us here. And that's a really good solution, and really cool to see how the books developed pretty organically in that way.
Yeah.
So in that process, was it challenging to come up with thoughts when you were reading some chapters of the Bible, and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, well, I still write I still write a thinky thing each day on whatever I've read. And yes, sometimes it is difficult. You read a chapter, something from Leviticus, for instance. In fact, I've got one I wrote here the other day, which was from Leviticus chapter 12. I've just been going through Leviticus. I'm actually going through Numbers at the moment, but Leviticus chapter 12 talks about a woman who's given birth to a child, and then she's got to rest for so many days for a male and so many days for a female, and she's unclean. And what on earth can you get out of that? Especially if I've already written 3 or 4 on that chapter, sort of like, what else is there to say? So yes, it can be challenging, but what something I learned years ago, and again straight from the scripture, is a verse in Psalm 119 says, "Open my eyes that I might see wonderful things out of your law." And so that, if I'm struggling, I should pray it every day, but I don't always. Sometimes something pops out straight at me and I'll just write it down. But the best ones come when I go, "Lord, open my eyes and show me what you want me to see in this chapter or in these verses or whatever it is." And wow, you would be amazed at what you see, what you just, like, your eyes are blinded until you ask that. And then all of a sudden, God just opens your eyes, and it's just incredible to see what you can get out of something that seems absolutely mundane, or something that everyone's done everything about already. It's great.
Yeah, fantastic. And like, yeah, Psalm 119 is such a good place to look for that, because every verse talks about rejoicing in God's law, and that's like actually talking about those first 5 books of the Bible, and parts of it that seem pretty dense to us at times, but yeah, whoever was writing that psalm was able to get a lot of joy out of it. They were, and clearly, as you're saying, God had opened their eyes to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Um,
yeah, it's worth asking, doing it yourself. What can I say? You're sitting in a daily readings group, and you know how those daily readings circles go. Everyone sits there, you do the reading, and then everyone sits there in silence for the discussion. Well, do that.
Yeah, very good. And I guess in this whole process, and I guess it's ongoing as well, have you sort of come to any realizations along the way? So, like, has writing Thinky Things, the books, made a difference to your life, or has it changed the way that you look at reading the Bible?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what I try and do with Thinky Things is to write something that's practical, that you can actually put into effect in life. And some of those are easier. Some of those are constant reminders. Like, I keep writing myself constant reminders to avoid sin. That's one of them. And I'm growing in that area, which is good, I think. But yeah, there's some other ones, like one that we just put in the Thinky Days diary last year, which really made an impact on me when I found it, and every time I've read it since, was the Attitude at the Door, it's called. And it's from Psalm 100. And the psalm that it says, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise." And I just love that. And it's something I've been trying to work on changing in my life. When I go to the meeting, when I go to Bible class, to enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. So often we enter with grumbling, or, did you see all that rain today, or whatever, or, yeah, the possums ate all my fruit off my trees again, whatever. But no, instead we should be going in there with thanksgiving and praise. And what an attitude changer that is when we go to the meeting, when we go to a conference like this. If everyone can come tomorrow to this conference and go, I'm going to enter here with thanksgiving and praise on my lips, man, that is just going to cause such a vibe through the whole conference. So yeah, that's one that's really, helped me, and I'm working on. Yeah. And there's a lot of them, just the constant washing with the word, with the water of the word through my life. It has made a massive difference. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's the accumulating effect of those sorts of things that, letting God speak in your life. It's so true. So how do you hope that the Thinky Thing books will be used? Do you have sort of, I guess, a bit of an objective for them in mind, or yeah?
I think with Thinky Days, which we put out this is the first one we've done, Thinky Days 2024. And in this is a blank page for a day. So we're thinking about doing a similar thing for next year. It has the readings in it. It's got a Bible verse at the bottom for your day, and then on every Sunday we'll put a Thinky Thing in it as well. So you've got a blank page for Sunday, but the idea for that is for you to start writing your own thoughts, your favorite verse, your prayer for the day, whatever it happens to be. You don't have to write a Thinky Thing because, that's what God's given me to do. But if you can just do what I did and go, look, I'm going to do a reading in the morning, do a reading in the evening, whenever it is, and I'm going to write down something about it, then that's really going to help you in your life and the people around you. And then, we'll definitely be meeting our objectives.
Yeah, great. And I guess in that way, it's sort of coming full circle, because you're, I guess, inviting people to do what you did initially that inspired the writing of the books.
Totally.
So it's a nice way to sort of, progress the project like that. And so, it sounds like this is very much an ongoing thing. So like where to from here for Thinky Things? Do you have something next in mind?
Yeah, we do. As I said, we've got Thinky Things 1 and we've got Thinky Things 2. They both cover the 3 daily readings. But there's only one thought for each reading for the day in each of them. So basically with Thinky Things 1 and Thinky Things 2, we've covered 2 of the daily readings for the day. It could be Genesis and Matthew, or it could be Psalms and Matthew, or whatever, but it's 2 of them, 2 out of the 3. So next year, God willing, we will have had 25 years of Thinky Things. There'll be 25 years of me writing Thinky Things. So we thought, and to celebrate, we will put out, God willing, Thinky Things number 3. And that gives you the full set. So you can have a thought for each of the readings for the day, and quite often a bonus thought. So that's in the pipeline. Also Thinky Days for 2025 we have in the pipeline as well. That's where we're heading with it, and sort of keeping the website up to date with new Thinky Things each week, and various other activities that we have on our website. So that's where we're heading with Thinky Things at the moment, with God's blessing.
Yeah, it sounds great, and a really great resource. I guess, by the completion of that project, by the 3rd volume, you'll have a thought on every chapter of the Bible, essentially. So I know that'll
pretty
be
close. I think we're about 50 chapters off.
Yeah, right.
When I count it up, because a lot of the days we've got 6 chapters of the Bible.
That
we're reading. So you don't necessarily get it on every chapter of the Bible, but we're pretty close. We're about 50 off. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Well, thanks so much for your time, and God bless your efforts with the 3rd book and going forwards. And look forward to reading more.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Matt. And appreciate that. And if anyone's interested in learning any more or getting in touch with me, just come along to www.thinkythings.com, and you can see what else is going on in the Thinky Things world.
Brilliant. Thanks then, Robert. Bye for now.
Thank you, Matt.